Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm Caleb. I use he, they pronouns, and this video is a review of Jenilee's self-love class, which is happening in October. I'll be sure to link the sign-up link for her class in the description below, so be sure to check that out. But I just wanted to talk about why I signed up for the class, what I got from it, and some things that I'm still working on from the class, because spoiler alert, you're not gonna master self-love within the class. I mean, maybe you will, but it's pretty unlikely, because self-love is a process, right, and a continual journey. I just felt really drawn to want to love myself more, and I didn't think that that would be if the class was a complete flop. I figured at least I would learn some things about loving myself. But yeah, I just felt really drawn to Jenilee's class, and I've been tuning into her Thursday live sessions. I knew about Aiden before I knew about Jenilee, and I don't know, I support Aiden, so I also support Jenilee. Yeah. Two main things that I learned was, one, the class encouraged me to take accountability for the energy that's around me. So it helped me to recognize that everything in my awareness is sort of a reflection of me and of what I believe and of who I am, right? So Jenilee would always say in her live sessions how whenever someone says something to you that hurts your feelings, or whenever someone insults you, I mean, for one, most of the things that people say is really just how they feel about themselves, and then for two, if it hurts you, then it's because it comes from a part of you that's insecure about that aspect of you, right? So if it hurts, it's because it's part of it you believe to be true. And whenever I thought about that, I was especially when it comes to my gender identity, if anyone says something, usually it's about being more feminine presenting, and that comes from a very insecure part of me that wants to present a super mask, and then whenever I don't, I feel insecure about that. So I definitely agree that if someone's saying something hurtful towards me, it's because part of me believes that I'm not masculine enough, whatever that even means. Sorry, that kind of went off on a tangent, but going back, the class also taught me how to be more aware of my true self versus my false self, and Jenilee does a way better job of going into detail about what your true self is versus your false self. But essentially what I got from it was that my true self wants the best for me, right? And Jenilee had also said something along the lines of it's a radical act to tap into your true self. And for me, what I heard whenever she said that was that it's so much easier to just let your false self take the lead, because your false self is the part of you that's super negative, or the part of you that sort of lives in this woe is me mentality. So to not do that, and to do the opposite and be super compassionate towards yourself, and super kind towards everything that your body and you have to deal with within this world, that's the radical act. First thing that I'm grateful for is my tangible the first thing that I'm grateful for is my tangible evidence of what happens when I choose myself. One of those tangible evidences is the fact that I even completed the course, right? Because I was even confident that I was gonna tune into the class every week. Another tangible evidence is my true self journal. This was originally my YouTube ideas journal, but half of it became my true self journal. And in that true self journal, I wrote down times that I chose myself, and the outcome of it. And more times than not, when you choose yourself instead of choosing what you should do, things are more positive. And I mean, I'm making a decision today to choose myself. I'm a little scared, but fear is an important part of the team too. That's another topic for the class. Let me not spoil too much for y'all though. Another thing that I'm grateful for is to have recognized and continually recognize that I hold a lot of self-doubt and self-hatred. This was actually goes into my next point, that I'm super grateful for, the pivotal point in the class where Jenilee had prompted us to ask what's the story that you're telling yourself as to why you shouldn't love yourself? So I'm going to repeat that. What's the story you tell yourself about why you don't love yourself? And whenever I answered that question, first of all, it brought me to tears. And I don't enjoy crying. but like answering that question and like being able to like literally see like my false self like on paper, it just changed so much because sorry, thinking about it, I'm getting emotional. Uh, but at least I'm very happy that I was able to like go line by line and point out why each of those things isn't true, or why each of those things like doesn't come from a place of like love towards myself. And from that point on in the class, I like really tried to tune in and really tried to just show up for myself, because if not me, then who, you know? Sorry, the video took a turn on that. Another thing that I'm super grateful for is creating a 5-year plan with the emphasis on feelings, instead of like things that I want to achieve. This is the first time that I like heard of this concept, but I mean I've heard of creating a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan before, but instead of creating a 5-year plan where you're like, oh, I want to like have my degree, oh, I want to be working a dream job, oh, I want to be I don't know, like married and with kids. I don't. But instead of like having your 5-year plan be these things that you want to achieve, having your 5-year plan be the feelings that you want to have in the future is just like, wow. Because like it doesn't put the pressure on like me to do these things that make, because like I could have a degree, I could have the best paying job, I could have a long-term relationship, I could have, I don't know, an amazing YouTube channel and all the videography like skills that I really want to have, and still not feel good about myself, and still not like be where I want to be, right? So instead of having a 5-year plan where you're like, these are the things I want, having a 5-year plan where you're like, these are the feelings I want to have, really just changes your perspective on life. So yeah. Some things that I'm still working on is being open to the honest answers. Again, that pivotal point for me was like one of the first times that I really answered honestly, because there's like homework throughout the class every week that you work on, and sometimes the homework I would like unintentionally just like answer what I perceive to be like the right answer, right? But answering that question about like what's the story you tell yourself about why you don't love yourself was just like, whoa. Second thing that I'm still working on is inviting aliveness into my everyday life, because I want to feel alive every day, but just sometimes that's not the case. The third thing is getting to the point where other people's love for me is just sort of extra. I think Jenilee described it as like, you loving yourself should be like the full cake with the frosting and everything, but like other people's love for you should be like the sprinkles. Like sprinkles are nice, right? But like you already have the full cake. You already love yourself to the fullest, right? And like other people's love is just sort of like extra and like just really nice to have there as well. But I feel like for me, like my love for myself is probably like the batter, and other people's love for me is like, I don't know, like the oven and the frosting and the strawberries on top and the sprinkles, and wow, I really want dessert right now. Anyways, and the last thing that I'm still working on is resisting the urge to rush my healing, and I can't stress that enough, that I just want, because it's really exciting to like learn all the tools to like love yourself and to like answer these questions from the homework, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna implement this in my life, I'm gonna do this, but then there comes the hard days, or then there comes the people who don't operate in this way, or the people who sort of like will shame you or like make fun of you for like trying to live your best life. You know, haters gonna hate, but yeah, resisting the urge to rush my healing is that was my review. If you're watching this and you were also a part of the group of students who did the self-love class, be sure to comment below like what you loved about Jenilee's class. Also, give this video a like if you haven't done so yet. I would love and appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. I think that's all. If you have any questions, you can comment that below. I will have the link to sign up for Jenilee's class in the description. All right, have a great week. Bye.